My name is Rhapsody, and welcome back to Wildfrost, wherein we have the choice between Cry, Woodling, and Owlthorn. Woodling here attacks on a counter of 3 for 3 damage and gains a block on kill. They would kind of just be standing independent, largely, as a character on the field. However, they do also have the possibility of synergizing with a bunch of the Clunk Master stuff that Clunk Masters uniquely have access to. I think I would be taking Woodling here, although you should get a different name. And that's 2D. 3D the second, of course. This could be 6. Okay, so other than that, what do I want to put in this deck? I mean, there is, of course, Sneasel. Draw 1 when hit. I haven't taken Sneasel out in a while, and Sneasel is very good. I'm going to take Sneasel. Let's do it. Oh. Don't really think I need to adjust anything about the base deck here. We haven't got that much damage, but nice. Hopefully we're up against the Chungoons and Pengoon, which we are. I know that both of my units attack on a 3 counter, which makes it easier to try and sync up their removal of a unit. I'm probably not going to want to use the Sun Song box early for that reason. Okay. So in 3 turns' time, I'm going to have to deal with Wild Snoof. How do I want to go about this? So, letting both of the Chungoon and Pengoon attack Sneasel next turn gets me 2 cards. I know that both of those will be Gear Hammers. I can throw Gear Hammer against Snoof this turn, and then a Flask of Ink against it the turn after. Problem. How am I going to get through Chungoon's health? Chungoon's got 6 of it. So I get to draw 2. In 3 turns, Pengoon attacks, Sneasel attacks, 2D attacks. Is there any way of taking out a 3rd character at the same time? If I'm taking out a 3rd character at the same time, it has to be based around the fact that Sneasel and 2D are each getting a kill, and also the Gear Hammers are finishing someone off. Which just doesn't seem viable. So I think I have to use Gear Hammers. I'm gonna freeze the Snoof so that Sneasel still gets to attack in 2 turns' time. I'm gonna throw a single Gear Hammer at the top line. Sneasel takes 2 hits here. Sneasel now intends to kill the Pengoon next turn. 2D, however, if I give the Sun Song box, will attack immediately this round. Still getting combo, but also manages to get the damage pump up there. I'll use a single Gear Hammer against the Wild Snoof, set up for the possibility of doing it again next turn. How do I feel about this? Do I want Sneasel to take the hit instead? I guess I could throw a Gear Hammer. Wattlegoon on the bottom line is going to be a problem pretty quickly. Cycling now would get me back to my more powerful Gear Hammers sooner. Sure, let's do that. And there they are. I will take out the Wild Snoof this turn, but I'm going to let 2D attack the bottom line. Start working on that Wattlegoon. So that Wattlegoon can now be taken out with the next 2 Gear Hammers. I can't really stop the goblin from running. I could use the Flask of Ink, but then it's no longer also giving me the extra money, which is one of the things I really want from it. Unfortunately, Sneasel and 2D are unaligned at the moment, so yeah, it's just very difficult to get combo kills unless I have Barrage or Spikes early on. Because you just don't have enough attackers to do it. Yeah, I guess I just want to kill one of the Penguins every turn that another Penguin dies. Here I can let Sneasel draw 2 cards. Very graciously. So 2D's about to take out a unit. So it's a Gear Hammer on the Penguin on the top line. And then all I gotta do is put a Junkhead in front of Big Peng to block you forever. Not really much money out of that first fight. Certainly not the best we've ever done. About 40 less than the best we've ever done. I'm going bottom line both times here. I just want to get some treasure. I'm a Clunk Master. Let me clunk. Blunder Tank. Trigger when junk is destroyed. I really like the idea of trying to take that and build around that, so let's do it. Oh, incredible. 2 different items that both have recycle here. Frenzy Wrench. Add Frenzy to an item in your hand, and then recycle 2. Giving that to, Gear Hammers in particular seems a really good idea. Super Snower. Good way to get Frost. I'm gonna take the Frenzy Wrench. Now I need more trash generation. Skaven? Falby! That'll do! Trash 1 when hit. Thank you. Hello, Falby. Let's go for a ride, buddy. Ooh, Bulbhead on the bottom line has a Sneasel. How dare. Putting a Junkhead on the top line and letting that take the hit to both the Pop Shroom and Puffball is pretty cool. To my mind, at least. And then I can spend 2 turns throwing Gear Hammers here against the Bulbhead on the bottom line. So, oh no. Pop Shroom will die this turn, taking out Junkhead. And then Puffball will attack Junkhead. I'll get 2 trash in hand. But that 2 trash is not going to be usable because Frenzy Wrench is not going to be able to access it. Rude. That is to say, I've got this 2 junk in hand and nothing to do with any of it. Realistically, I should probably just take 2 units off the board this turn. So I do. Let's get Falby out there. I could Snow Zook next turn to keep the Goblin here in front of 2D. Alright, that'll knock 4 out of you, then you also become another target for a kill there, rather. Bulbhead on the bottom line is barraging for that damage. I do want to cycle so that I can try and get something that uses Frenzy in hand, but also if I don't have the Blunder Tank out, why would I need that in the first place, you know? Falby could take both of these hits and survive. Gives me the ability to put the Blunder Tank out on the field. Let's do it. Puts 2 trash in my hand, and hopefully I now have the ability to find some way to utilize that very effectively. Let's cycle. Oh, I get 2 of my junk, but I don't get any of the other cards that care. I think that means I should cycle again. Okay, so Veiled Lady on the bottom line. If I trigger Frenzy Wrench... I can get the Blunder Tank to start removing stuff. Let's upgrade the Gear Hammer. Blunder Tank attacks twice. Bobby goes back into the deck at the end of this. Right. Then the Gear Hammer gains damage between its strikes here, so does 3 and then 4 damage. Sneasel does 2 to the top line, gets us a little bit more combo. Again, very little, but a little bit, nonetheless. Let's get 2D to attack this turn, as well as the Blunder Tank. Alright. I think that's about as good as it goes. Get him, Sneasel! So I need to be able to generate my junk around the same speed that I want to be able to use it, and that's going to be effectively the journey of this deck, is setting myself up for that to be more consistent. On kill, apply a scrap to a random ally. I don't love that. Nom and Stompy, but when a card is destroyed, count down by 1. I mean, it synergizes so well with this deck, I can't take Alloy there. That's actually up against the card that I do want. Nice GM, trigger multiple times equal to your scrap count. Bitebox and Heart Mist Station. Between Bitebox and Heart Mist Station's very, 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 very big and impactful. But the Bitebox is also multiple things being destroyed at the same time. I really like the Bitebox. Heading over to the Woolly Snail. Obviously, I know one of the things we're going to be picking up here is going to be the Crown. The other might be a Noomlin Biscuit already. Well, actually, honestly, it's probably not Nom and Stompy that needs the crown right now. It's probably the Blunder Tank. Oh man, Noomlin. Noomlin's so good. I'll leave that there. Ooh, Makoko's attacking double on the top line. Yes. Feed me the junk. Oh, especially with a hand like this, baby. Yep, Nom and Stompy goes on the bottom to guarantee that Makoko hits Foley twice there on the top. In doing so, they set up extremely effectively for my Frenzy Wrench on a Gear Hammer play. Blunder Tank will then kill Makoko as well. And then this Gear Hammer will strike for 2 and then 3 damage, not killing the enemy, but yes, allowing 2D to strike in order to gain some block from that. Lining people up here doesn't seem correct. That said, letting Folby take the damage also doesn't seem correct. 2D won't take any damage to this. Lining people up would be, you know, moving people to a single line, but there's always going to be someone revealed, so if 2 people have to be taking damage here, it's going to be Nom and Stompy and 2D. And I'll throw Gear Hammer in for old time's sake. I also don't want to add a trash to this hand right before I'm about to cycle. Yeah, Junkhead would be trash as well, but I don't need Junkhead right now. The Coco on the top line is getting a lot of damage, though. I'm gonna start working on the health of the Snow Gobbler up there in the back line. Because with the Sunsong box here, if I target that on Nom and Stompy, they should attack immediately. Oh! No, they will attack immediately, but they'll attack an Infinoco that then splits. So I won't have the ability to target the backline after that or anything like that. Give the additional damage to Nom and Stompy, so the... Never mind, Blunder Tank attacks first in that situation. Okay, so while I'm paying the recycle cost, Blunder Tank decides to attack. That's fine. Gives me a little bit more understanding. Infinoco is currently intending to do 2 damage to both of our frontliners. Unfortunately, Makoko's dealing 4 because they are very powerful. Playing 2 more cards this cycle seems a little bit of a tough ask. Numelan Bite Box. If I put Nom and Stompy on the top line and then play Sneasel on the bottom, I can draw a fair few cards here. Get a bunch of trash as well. That Makoko on the top line is honestly the biggest problem here. Next turn I would be able to use a Bite Box to take that unit out. I wouldn't actually, Infinoco would be attacking at the same time. Okay, so I should probably put a Bite Box there right now if I'm going to do that at all. Ugh, Makoko with the Lumen Ring is so powerful. So I can throw a Gear Hammer at the Makoko and take it out. Oh, I'm guaranteed to have a Gear Hammer in the next hand I'm going to cycle. Don't love how my hands are all junk or all of the things that use junk. I've got to take out the Makoko on the top line. I'm going to use a Gear Hammer to do so. I'm also going to sacrifice the Blunder Tank here. So if I use the other Gear Hammer on the Frostinger on the bottom line, I can take it out this turn. Which I will do. That'll make Nom and Stompy confirmed to attack next turn. I could freeze Infinoco this turn, but then I feel like I just deal with Oblivion next turn. Wow. Currently, I'm looking at a plan for Sneasel and Folby to both have half health and half damage even through the entire next fight by front-loading both of those units. don't love it, but it legitimately looks like a better plan for me right now. I'm gonna Snowzuka the Porcupine on the bottom line. No one Stompy responds here. Quite viciously, in fact. Use a Gear Hammer and let 2D attack right now, and then use one more Gear Hammer to take out Infinoko in the next round. That was not a great fight. This deck's not very well prepared to anything in that combat, as it turns out. Pretty much all of it was quite troubling. Take the additional card draw first. I mean, I'm not going to have the money to buy a crown unless I go north, so... My path is very determinant so far. Krego, when a card is destroyed, gain a... I mean, like, I've had the Krego Nom and Stompy run before. I've tried to do it with junk. Big Berry to try and help heal some units on board. Blunky to try and help block some damage for those units on board in the first place. Krego seems like a way to get damage, which is what the Blunder Tank and Nom and Stompy are already providing. Blunky and Big Berry probably seem a lot more appropriate here. I'm going to take Blunky. I have other frontliners right now. Let's put Sneasel back. Heading to this pickup, we find the Lumen Goop. Can be used to fix something. There's a crown. Let's get that on a Storm and Nompy. Clockwork Bomb, deal 2 damage and apply 2 bomb critically. I think I should probably just hold on to my money. I just don't think that's actually going to make me more powerful in the meantime. Oh, neat. So if I can get Folby to take both of the hits of damage coming up soon, or 2 hits of damage coming up soon, rather, I can use a Frenzy Wrench. That's always nice. I like a Frenzy Wrench. Throw the Sunsong box on 2D. Get an early attack there. Currently 2D intends to follow up, taking out the Shell Witch. But I might just want to use that damage to help take out the Conqueror on the top line instead. Or I guess I could use the single Bite Box on the top line later. I feel like this is a build that's completely forsaken actually trying to get value out of combo. Which I'm not enthused about, but... you know, as long as I'm surviving. I'm gonna Snowzuke Folby to get a trash in hand, then Shell Witch will attack Folby, giving another trash. And that will give me the ability to use a Frenzy Wrench on the Gear Hammer here. Destroying 2 cards for the sake of Nom and Stompy. As well as setting me up to have a Gear Hammer that does 2 instances of damage. And then lets me cycle past. So I'm going to do 2 instances of damage to the Gobbling on the bottom line. Take 1 hit on the top. Respond against that Conquer and get my shield back. Then Nom and Stompy will attack on the bottom line. Cycle. I finally have the opportunity to Noomlin Blunky. giving me the ability to put Blunky down and then take them back and then play them again later and then take them back and then play them again later, which I still don't think is actually a good thing to do. Is there a position where that could be the right play? Yes, I'm definitely not discounting the possibility of that. Is it so broken that I need to be reminded that it's possible? Not necessarily, maybe, I don't know, it doesn't seem like it. Doesn't seem like it almost at all, in fact. And I can get another trash in this hand. I guess I do ultimately want to put Junkhead out at some point. I mean, honestly, the Shell Witch on the bottom line right now is kind of... annoying. You're giving a lot of shell to things that I really don't want to have shell, is the thing. And giving me a lot of, what's the word I'm looking for here? Difficulty, I guess. That gobbling on the bottom line probably does just run this turn. 2D will kill the Conquer. And... I'm just gonna throw that to get 4 from the Gobbling, as well as upgrade the Gear Hammer. Hello, Bolga. You know, the whole adding shell to all allies is really annoying. I'm going to prevent the second Shell Witch on the bottom line from being able to do that. Or one of the Shell Witches, rather, on the bottom line from being able to do that. I've only got a single junk in hand, so... if I want to use the Frenzy Wrench again, I'm gonna have to wait. I can, however, use this Gear Hammer to help me take someone out, like the Shell Witch in the back line here, that is otherwise going to be giving additional HP to everyone next turn. $2D for another block on the top line seems good here. Let's use the Frenzy Wrench on... I mean, I could do it on Snowzuka, but I realistically think the big thing that's consistently lacking for me is damage. So let's address that. So this will deal 2 and then 3 to a character. Honestly, should probably be targeted on the Conqueror on the bottom line, but the Conqueror on the bottom line can be invalidated with a single Flask of Ink next turn. Okay. Conqueror on the bottom line completely invalidated with Flask of Ink, preventing it from doing extra damage. Bolga on the top line's a touch annoying, but they're going to attack 2D, who is then going to be able to pick up more defense afterwards. Ooh, another Frenzy Wrench. Ooh, a Frenzy Wrench and the Noomling Gear Hammer as well. Neat. want to see if there's a way that I can line up both of these kills at the same time, even if I've been kind of forsaking all of those. I can't play 2 more cards, game! Oof. Four, and then a 5. Would set up Bolgo to be killed soon, unfortunately. I guess I could just freeze Bolgo. Right? Conqueror on the bottom line attacks for 2 damage this turn. Folby would respond for 2. The only problem is if I kill the Bolgo first with a Gear Hammer, we're not going to proceed to the combat round. And if we don't, then I don't get the combo. So I want to set you both to similar HP values. Sacrifice the Blunder Tank next turn, and then the turn after 2D kills one of you, and the Gear Hammer kills another. Like that. Until I get Barrage or Frenzy or something like that for Nom and Stumpy, it's just gonna remain being tough for a while, and that's gonna be fine, I guess. Let's get some charms on the bottom line there after our treasure. Oh, these are all quite nice still. Haze Balloon, honestly, seems the most impactful to me. When destroyed, apply 1 haze to the attacker. Gives me a card that I'm very comfortable letting get destroyed early on. The coaster has fallen off the bottom again. Apply a snow. So something leaps to mind here is putting that on the Blunder Tank, giving the Blunder Tank the ability to hit units that have smackback or reaction triggers. I'm gonna do it. Maybe I shouldn't have done that immediately. I am about to move a space forward and see another card. Like the Sunglass Chime. When destroyed, rather, trigger all allies. That is very good. Battle Charm for +2 damage. Also Demonized Charm. Red Charm is also there. I mean, +2 damage on the Blunder Tank. It's pretty significant. Sunglass Chime that blocks a hit and then blocks another hit and then allows me to strike out against the enemies, though, is so powerful. How do I turn that down? This is a frustrating fight, but we'll see what we can do about it. Let's see if we can take out Marrow super quick. Oh, it's a little bit encouraging here. Not only do I have my Flask of Ink, so I can invalidate the aimlessness or the shielding if I need. Sorry, or the teeth if I need. But I also have the Sunsong in my opening hand here. Well, sure. Oh, and Grumble on the top line has additional teeth, so I should never let anyone attack them. Probably when you attack in 2 turns time, you should take out that Marrow on the bottom line, I feel. Although Grumble, when you attack, I do want you to also hit Folby. Which means I have to take a unit off the board to put everyone on the same line if both of you are attacking on the same turn. Is there a way to avoid that? Not especially, no. If I leave Folby on the top line, they get hit by Grumble and then they strike back. So they lose a total of 9 health, unless they target the Smog in the back line because they are attacking aimlessly. However, that does give me the ability to put the Frenzy Wrench on a character. Although, if I Frenzy Wrench and Grumble is still on the field, Blunder Tank just dies to Grumble immediately. Okay, I have to treat this whole hand completely differently to how I was intending with the Frenzy Wrench and all. Okay, now there's a better way around. Oh, no. No, there isn't. Even if I Flask of Ink this turn, 2D attacks, Smog attacks, Folby, I then get a Frenzy Wrench and 2 junk in hand, but I can't play the Frenzy Wrench on anything. I've got a cycle. I really didn't want to. But I don't really get a choice there, I don't think. Oh boy. I put the Fight Box first. I can Noomlin a Gear Hammer. To try and set up for a better later turn. So I know that Nom and Stompy is capable of attacking this turn, aimlessly though. Can't do anything to take out the Goblin in the back line early, so I'm gonna get rid of Smog. I'm gonna let 2D take the 2 damage up there on the top line. Because I think 2D is always gonna die in a single hit for the entire rest of the fight, and I should just be kind of realistic about that reality, rather. If I Snowzook to freeze the Goblin on the bottom line, I can gain some junk in this hand if needed. So Folby attacks Pawpaw, and then 2D attacks Goblin behind them. Oh boy. I'm gonna need to get the Haze Balloon out now to be prepared for having to deal with the boss. There we go, Morjaw, hello. There's more aimlessness on the field, as well as the teeth remain here. I'm starting to despair for the possibility of surviving this fight. Admittedly, I think it not especially likely at this point. We'll see. So I can put the Sunglass Chime on the top line. Next turn, both of you attack. Grumble and Pawpaw attack it. So here's how I think this works. Grumble on the top line attacks the Sunglass Chime, rather. Then Pawpaw attacks it. Then all of my units activate. Starting with, I think, Nom and Stompy after they replace the Sunglass Chime position. Then Folby. Then, I mean, Haze Balloon if it had an attack, but it doesn't. Putting the Haze Balloon further out front, though, so that it takes a hit from Morjaw is better. I kind of want to see if Snowzuking or Flask of Inking the Morjaw seems appropriate here. To try and prevent it possibly just killing Nom and Stompy in response. I think it's possible the correct thing is the Flask of Ink. Okay, so before everyone moves, the activation occurs. Got it. That'll change some stuff, slightly. Let's throw a Gear Hammer at the Grumble on the top line, setting up for the possibility that Nom and Stompy kills it after I accidentally kill one of the enemy units there. There we go, 2-time combo. I say accidentally. Obviously fine with this. Sunsong 2D on the bottom line to get the Blunder Tank to attack. Great. So the Grumble on the bottom line is currently threatening to attack Folby, adding a trash to my hand, and then getting killed by Nom and Stomp, getting killed by 2D in response. It's a second trash that would give me. Okay. I'm gonna play a Junkhead in front of Morjaw for future instances when they trigger and I'm not necessarily ready for it. Yeah, they trigger when hit here, right? So they're gonna trigger twice if I play the Frenzy Wrench. And I do play the Frenzy Wrench. The first hit will hit no one. The second one will go against Junkhead, giving me a trash in hand. Oh no, I freeze them because of the Blunder Tank! I forgot about that! It's so good though! It's the whole reason to do this like this! Bye-bye, Morjaw! We are limping our way through each of these fights. Every single fight, all of our characters end on 1 HP. Oh boy, I feel really far behind the 8 ball right now. It's getting increasingly difficult to imagine catching up. I just don't eat my junk as quickly as I feel like I might need to. Maybe I need to get more junk. Let's go to the Gnome Traveler. Give me some more things that recycle and junk. There we go. Reduce counter by 1, recycle, consume. And it gives me a junk. Frost Bloom is not bad. Do I want it though? Comes with another junk. It can be pretty useful, but at the same time, up against all of the rest of these, it's seeming quite unimpactful. Head on to the Woolly Snail and finally finish off my Lumen. Ooh, apply a Haze and recycle 2 is very powerful. It's also on sale! Getting Nom and Stompy to activate twice as fast by using a Lumen Vase on them seems pretty cool. Let's go check out the Charm Machine. Oh, Pinch Charm, draw 2 and kill, love that. That's gotta be Nom and Stompy or 2D. Oh, or the Blunder Tank. And I think it's gonna be the Blunder Tank. Get him, Blunder. I'm very, very deeply invested in a build that I'm not certain can work. But I'm getting more trash generation. I'm getting, I don't know, maybe. Oh, wow. I get the Frenzy Wrench as well as 2 junk in the opening hand. Who'd have thunk it? And, in fact, if I let Volby take 2 hits in 3 turns time... Okay, I have some ideas. I kind of want to Frenzy Wrench the Sunsong box, is I guess, the idea. Wonder Tank attacks the Spike Wall twice. I'm going to Flask of Ink Krunker, which will force them to, I mean, not only are they not in the back line anymore, but it will also force them to attack both of the front lines instead of an entire line. And that's important because now I can put the Blunder Tank behind you and then a Haze Balloon up here. Do I want to do it with a Haze Balloon? Also, 2D is about to attack the Spike Wall and get responded to right now. Rudely. This is all a little bit of a nightmare right now. Put Blunky on the top. So Blunky and Volby both take 8 to Krunker. They also take 3 to Sponsor, 2D attacks and then gets attacked back. Blunky is now intending to attack and kill the top line by themselves. Sunsong Box would give 2D the ability to do that instead, and in doing that gain some health, or gain a block. Yeah, despite having Frenzy on that, it didn't trigger a second time. No, wait, it did trigger a second time, but it didn't recycle a second time. What? Okay. What? Sometimes something that says recycle needs the junk to trigger, and sometimes it doesn't, and the rules seem to be inconsistent. Well, now it's definitely time to cycle. Crunk is about to lose that bombard effect that they're currently spouting. So I should get some units that are healthy enough to survive that. Or don't care about dying to that. Folby probably needs to get taken off board relatively soon, to be honest. Putting a sunglass chime out could be a fun way to work around this for a bit. Nom and Stompy kills Spuncher with the help of 2D. That Grink in the backline is currently threatening to be a problem for that, though. I could let Blunky die on the top line to that Grink. Allow 2D to lose a health here in order to help me take out the Spuncher. Spuncher has so much GD health. Oh wait, the Sunglass Chime currently isn't even gonna die to this effect. It's not even gonna activate. Throw a Gear Hammer at the top. Okay. So now, their Spuncher attacks for 6 damage, oof, because of the Demon Eyes from Grink, on Nom and Stompy. And then the second Spuncher attacks a Sunglass. Nom and Stompy responds to the Spuncher, and then 2D also responds to the Spuncher, taking it out. I can do all of this and take out the Spuncher on the bottom line with a Gear Hammer, because the other Spuncher is already gonna knock my Sunglass Chime. And we also get a free round of hits on the Crunker there, which is worth its weight in gold right now, to be honest. Don't like having the Demonize effect on Nom and Stompy, but not too many choices there for us, unfortunately. I'll cycle. Is it going to be another hand of junk in one hand, and then the things that use junk in the other hand? Yep. Well, at least they've got Woodhead. I don't even know if I'm making it out of this fight, to be entirely frank with you. Everyone's attacking next turn. They're all attacking for a ridiculous amount of damage because there's an Ice Forge, which I can't take out in time unless I solo focus it. And even then, I don't think I can take it out actually in time. Plunder Tank is capable of doing almost nothing right now because I never have the junk in hand alongside the things that use it. I guess I only have one junk at the moment, which kind of makes that make a lot more sense, though. I'm gonna have to put a junk out on the bottom line, and don't really have much choice about that one, unfortunately. And if I don't freeze the Grink on the top line, I lose Nom and Stompy. So give me some more trash in hand. So because I now know that the recycle cost doesn't get played a second time on things that have Frenzy, I'm going to use the Frenzy Wrench on Haze Keg. But knowing that I'm going to do that as well, I'm going to set up for it by playing Noomlin on the Frenzy Wrench. I'm not going to have much junk after that. On Haze Keg? Probably definitely not, right? That'll help us draw some cards. If Plunder Tank's on the bottom line, I can take that Grink out. As well as draw some cards. I'm going to use the Haze Keg on Sponcher, who's most likely to stay here for the longest period of time. Tootie's currently threatening to take out the Ice Lantern on the top line. And then Nom and Stompy could take out the Crunker behind them. The Sponcher is currently going to attack one of its allies. Yeah. Do I want to cycle right now? Get back Falby? As well as a Sun Cream and Lumen Vase? Probably not, to be honest. I want to get haze balloons and bite boxes and all those kinds of things out before I cycle away from this hand. What? The Sponcher attacked the top line, so I don't get the shield for 2D now. Although I do 10 damage to the second form of Crunker at least. Oh, that's really unfortunate. It's so unfortunate. Yeah, because of how the enemy attacks, this is going to be a real nightmare for us basically the entire time. I'm probably not getting any more junk, so losing Blunder Tank isn't awful. If I cycle right now, I could get to Falby, which would be more health. Yeah, Falby seems pretty useful right now, actually. So next turn, only the Crunker is attacking alone. They're attacking their own line 2 times as well. thinking about putting a bite box out on the field and just letting the Haze Balloon, Blunder Tank, and Bite Box take the hits. Seemed as reasonable as it was possible to be, to me. Sunsong 2D, didn't force them to attack in the way I'd wanted, unfortunately. Spuncher still attacks an ally though, so we're currently okay. Krunker is also set currently to hit a random ally instead when attacking, but because they have Bombard, I think they will still hit all of the Bombard spaces, but I also can't remember if I've checked that interaction before and it actually works differently to the way that I'm currently saying. Unfortunately, if it does work differently, I can't really do anything about that. There's no real way for me to win if I assume that it does function that way. Cool. They only attacked, I guess, only the units that were within the Bombard on their side? A single Gear Hammer would take out the Grink on the top line now, which still really matters. That Grink is really annoying. Maybe a Spuncher attacking next turn. Snowzuka, Flask of Ink. I don't take out the Grink soon. I don't take out the Grink at all. 14 health left on the Krunker, which currently intends to... basically, kill Fulby, do 6 damage to itself, and then attack Spuncher. I do want the Krunker to deal that much damage to itself, because that will really help. I think I've just got to throw some Gear Hammers out. Oh, of course no one Stompy was going to get attacked afterwards by the Spuncher. Which means I probably should have just frozen the Spuncher. Well. 3D. Sorry, 2D. You have very little time here to attack, but you must. The fate of the world depends on you. I got a single junk in hand from the previous interaction. I'm gonna throw a Gear Hammer at Krunker, and then I'm gonna freeze you next turn. Yeah, this deck is barely making it. It's got tools. It's got tools. It just does not do anything at speed. By the time it's established itself on board, it's getting completely run over in ways that are just not sustainable. I'm gonna go to a Shade Sculptor and double down on the theme of this build, possibly before it loses, by getting a second Blunder Tank. Alright. I need the trash. No and Stompy's probably less important right now. I'm gonna get a second copy of the Blunder Tank in the opening hand. No and Stompy. You know what? The Lumen Vase on Folby so that I can get even more trash might actually be relevant here. Alright. Next battle. It's gonna be a toughie. I'm going to Sun Cream 2D, forcing both of the Blunder Tanks to attack the Burster on the top line, taking it out this round, noting that the next Burster has 4 teeth on, and will kill me if I try and do the same thing to them. So I'm going to have to find a much more unique and creative solution there. Without Nom and Stompy, now that I can afford it, I'll Noomlin the Snowzuka. Yes, the Burster is about to attack Volby, who then has Haze, and won't be able to attack the direction that I otherwise intend. So in order to counterplay that, I'm going to Snowzuke my own Volby, gaining 2 trash from them. Now, do I want to Haze Keg the Burster? Obviously with Blunder Tank on the bottom line. I think so. Although I think this will ultimately end up in the Burster on the top line getting struck by 2D. What? What? Wait, what? Oh, 2 junk was destroyed and I have 2 Blunder Tanks. That's what happened. It's a Frenzy Wrench in this hand. I could cycle to try and get to a Sunsong box as well as a junk. Doesn't feel like I should leave this hand without putting the Sunsong box out, though. 1 Burster attacks another Burster. Okay. Folby is currently threatening to die on the top line in a way that I'd prefer not to see. I'm gonna use a single Gear Hammer to take out the Burster on the top line that's still threatening. There we go. That's much nicer. Now, Folby, if you're comfy taking the hit here, we can actually set up some good future turns. I'm going to Flask of Ink the Crawler, take 4 damage here. Folby gets its 2 trash in hand. In doing so, Folby, Burster is obviously going to attack a friend as well. In doing so, you have revealed my ability to use the Frenzy Wrench on the Gear Hammer, forcing Blunder Tank to attack 2 times here, taking out the Crawler on the top line. I guess the Crawler on the top line is not as threatening as the bottom line is. Nice. Hello, Numbskull. Yes, 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 everyone's hot-headed. Crawler on the top line attacks in 1 turn's time. But too much damage for Folby to survive, unfortunately. Seems right now to cycle. And in fact, in doing so, I will play the Sun Song box on Nom and Stompy. Getting Nom and Stompy ready to attack as soon as another card is destroyed. We need a Junkhead for some trash in the future. Oh, right, of course, it was attacking an ally. That's fine. Still dies. I don't really want all of these bursters to attack next turn. Junkhead's good at blocking the two on the bottom line, but the one on the top line would be a little bit of a wild agent. So if I wanted to, and I do, I'm going to use a Gear Hammer on my own Sunglass Chime to get ready for breaking it. Blunder Tank will then finish off the top liner, drawing us 2. Great. Let's get a Lunky out on the field, maybe? Yeah. Blunk on the top line. Get 2 junk from the Junkhead. Honestly, getting additional junk from Volby early has actually really helped some of the problems we were having previously. I'm going to use the Haze Keg on Numbskull here, allowing Blunder Tank to attack 2 times on the top line, and also having the Numbskull attack one of its allies. Blunky then removes another shield, which is as similar to a 10 damage attack as possibly can be right now. Everyone is attacking here on the bottom line. Could be time to cycle right now, get closer to Frenzy Wrench as well as the other Gear Hammer. The Frenzied Gear Hammer really should get played. Oh! No, I Snowzook Volby. Getting 2 junk in hand. And now I can use the Frenzy Wrench to get another Frenzy on the same Gear Hammer. Let's do it. So this will now do 2, 3, and then 4 damage to the same target. Or 3 instances of damage to the shield. I can put the Junkhead on the bottom line in order to sap up this hit. And then I actually do care about the order of effects after that. Well, I guess I don't care about the order of effects that much because I'm going to use Gear Hammer, so Volby and 2D's attacks will both make their way through here. I made it. I'm struggling through every single fight, but I'm getting there. You gotta get me down. Snowzook on Volby is so good as a way to just get the gear. Okay, Numbskull kills the Burster, and then Blunky kills the No! Nom and Stompy got him first! Well done, no one stop. Good lord. This can't kill the heart. There's no way! What does this deck do against the heart? Let's try and find out, I guess, in the next shot. Gain Frenzy and add Aimless. I don't need to put that on anything just yet. Let's go to the Woolly Snail. Destroy a card in hand, add its damage to a random ally. Demon Heart. Oof. Foggy Brew? You ain't listening to... Definitely need a crown. Take that crown, King. I'm gonna go for a charm, and probably Foggy Brew. Gain Fury 3. Whoever attacks on a line by themselves. Is it anyone? Not really. Let me give it to 2D. I will be thrilled to make it through the final fight with this build, frankly. Give Frenzy and Aimless. Frenzy and Aimless. Frenzy and Aimless. So, Foggy Brew with the Lumen effect, oh no, it still doesn't really do that much. Snowzuka needs to be able to target the right people, unfortunately. I think maybe this even goes on Sun Cream. They could go on Haze Keg, possibility of, yeah, aimlessing or hazing more people on the enemy side. Alright, Eye of the Storm. Let's go. Ooh, a nice double trash opening hand here for us. I'm gonna split the Blunder Tanks to each line to hold Plum and Bigfoot for another turn before they get to activate for the first time. I'm gonna reduce the counter on 2D by 1. Making them a much more active participant in these combats. It definitely feels like the Sunglass Chime should go out on the field. And if I Gear Hammer the Bigfoot... Oh no, then I have to prevent Plum from activating. No, wait. If Plum activates, they attack the Sunglass Chime, then Mega Mimic attacks the Sunglass Chime. And then all of my units start, so Folby attacks Bigfoot, then Nom and Stompy attacks and does not kill Plum. Oh no, does kill Plum, who will only have 10 health at that point in time. Then the Blunder Tank attacks and freezes Bigfoot on the bottom line. Oh, no, kills Bigfoot on the bottom line, in fact. If I put Folby at the very back of the line here, we can get the Blunder Tank to set up a kill on 2D, or I can get 2D to set up a kill on the Blunder Tank. Really depends on whether I want draw or the shield. I think I probably want the draw. Okay. I think it's good. Oh no, wait, but you'll have activated, right? Having given the 4 health to Bigfoot, who now has that much health. 11. Okay, I Gear Hammer the Mega Mimic in the backline. I'm gonna Flask of Ink the Frost Guardian next turn. Or do I just want to cycle early? Because Volby is going to give me 2 trash in hand, so I'd like to have that with cards that can utilize that trash. Yeah, like these. Get him, Blunder Tank. As it turns out, that Frost would have been really helpful. Also, Volby didn't even end up getting hit, so I didn't even get the trash I wanted. Ah! Frost Guardian on the bottom line, I obviously have to prevent from attacking in some way here. Haze Balloon seems probably the easiest way to do that. Thank you for killing your ally. Really helps us out. 2D is currently intending to attack a line, taking a bunch of damage, for even threatening to do so. Gonna have to Snowzook the Spike Wall to prevent that. I guess I didn't have to do that. I did really want to. Now, because I have all of these still here and still available, I mean, Foggy Brew has to target Frost Guardian, right? Because, no, Spike Wall can get affected by the haze. I'm gonna Gear Hammer Volby in order to get some junk in hand. So, if I destroy 2 junk, Blunder Tank attack, Blunder Tank attack, Blunder Tank attack, Blunder Tank attack. Yep. We get the draw. Thankfully, the freezing has prevented any response, really. Nom and Stompy on the top line currently almost threatening to take out that Grink. Although, if I use a Gear Hammer to take out the Ice Forge in the back line, I can guarantee it. Love that. Hello, Frost Guardian here on the bottom line, intending to attack no one. I'm gonna... Well, actually, I'm just gonna put a Blunky in front of you. There you go. Get blunked. Probably worth cycling right now. Mm-hmm. If I Snozook Folby, as we've done many times before, I'll set myself up for the ability to use the Sunsong box. I'll Noomlin the Sunsong box just to be ready for it on later turns as well. Get him, Blunder Tag. 2D will attack at the end of the turns. Use Gear Hammer on the Frost Guardian. Continually set them up. Alright, cycle. I feel like we're finally managing the trash in this deck relatively well. I'm going to junk Folby to get 2 junk back in hand, as well as leave 1 in the discard pile. Folby takes out the Frost Guardian, which causes a full respawn here. Ah! Uber Bear's in the top line. Pretty much exactly what I didn't want to see. I need to be able to cut through the HP of that character. Admittedly, if I just throw a single Gear Hammer... Oh, actually, if I throw a Gear Hammer, I could kill it even. So Blunder Tank will trigger whenever a junk is destroyed. Nom and Stompy triggers... If both junk are destroyed at the same time, will Nom and Stompy trigger before the Blunder Tanks? That's if I use the Frenzy Wrench. Nope, they won't. Really unfortunate. Pretty significantly changes everything here. Okay, let's take out the Winter Worm in the back line with the buffed Gear Hammer right now. I'll be giving me some junk to hand and a little bit more junk there. The Blunder Tanks are finally unfrozen. I can Haze Keg on the bottom line in order to start really burning through as much as possible. And I will. I can't even make a nameless. That said, the Frost Guardian's gonna attack its ally here and then continually get attacked by us. I don't have anything to consume the trash in my hand currently, unfortunately. Oh, but I do have Sunsong Box. And none of those are frenzied, unfortunately. No. So I'm gonna Snozook Folby in order to get more Frenzy Wrenched in hand. And then Frenzy Wrench one of the Gear Hammers. Get him, Blunder Tank. 2, 3, 4. We did it! Woo! Frost Guardian kills Grink, and then I kill it. I consider that, frankly, a excellent win. Now it's time to go to hell. Gosh. Yeah, realistically, if I don't do pretty much this setup, we already lose, so... Alright! This could be a nightmare. The Blunder Tanks obviously can't go on the top line because they'll just die to the Frost Bomber pretty quickly. So they have to be on the bottom line. And the bottom line... I'm defending against pretty big hits. Not really getting any additional HP, unfortunately. 2D also doesn't want to go to the top line, though, because they die immediately to the Frost Bomber if the Frost Bomber gets an attack. But they also die immediately to the Frost Jailer. I'm gonna have to confuse the Frost Bomber on the top line, or just risk Frost Lancer suddenly killing 2D on the bottom. Like, 2D has to go on one of the bottom line or the top line, and in both lines it dies. I do need more trash. Sunglass Chime's pretty useful here. There's also the Flask of Ink if I need to suddenly recycle, reposition my own units. Gonna Noomlin the Sun Cream first. Blunky on the top line could stop the next 2 strikes. No, I need something faster than that. I've got to put out the Sunglass Chime. Reduce counter by 1, recycle 1, consume Noomlin on 2D on the top line. Gets them to attack and freeze the Frost Jailer early. And then I've got a Sun Song box in order to allow them to continue, as well as get some more damage up there on the top line. There's 3 junk left in the deck. There's the ability to try and find a couple of aimless or fog effects. The thing is, like, if Frost Bomber attacks freely right now, 2D just dies. So my choice is kind of made for me right now. In that if I don't Flask of Ink the Frost Bomber, I lose. Now it comes down to, do I have enough time to actually generate enough value to win this board? Next turn, we've got Frost Crusher, Frost Lancer, Frost Junker, and Frost Muncher all attacking. That's going to be a nightmare. I'm going to have to use Frenzy Wrench on Foggy Brew. Uh-huh. 6 and then 4. I can theoretically survive the top line. I can't survive Frost Lancer and Frost Junker removing 2 units on the bottom line, though. Yeah, Frost Lancer at least is going to attack an ally for us. I mean, sure, there goes all of my damage, and we are going to lose. But on the bright side, I tried. On the bright side, I tried. I gave it a go. So, get done there. Yeah, no ifs, ands, or buts about this one. If I don't freeze the Frost Bomber, I'm dead. And even if I do, I lose pretty much all of the important units to allow me to continue fighting at this point. The fact that the front lines just have so much HP does mean that a deck, formatted like this, either has to get truly ridiculously broken, or have some other way it can play around. I mean, like, I could possibly have pulled the Frost Jailer if I took the Noomlin Yank from a store a very long time ago. Get the Frost Lancer to the front line, possibly have taken it out by this point, but realistically, that just wasn't going to occur, actually. And there goes 2D. But frankly, I think that's a pretty good junk run. For a run where I still, again, tried to lean into a build that I've not done as much before, or at least not managed to do as successfully before. I can't be too self-harsh about that one. And I get to see the build again in the next episode when we have to fight them. Until then, though, my name is Rhapsody. The name of the game has been Wildfrost. There is a top left playlist for all of my content on this game, past, present, future. YouTube recommendation is down below. And streaming past the names of the people so generously supporting the Republic on patreon.com/RhapsodyPlays at or above the thank tier. And a special thanks this episode to 3D. Hopefully you'll be enjoying yourselves, and hopefully we'll see you all next time.